Coming up on today's Philadelphia 76ers now, are the Sixers working on a deal to swap Tobias Harris for Zach Lavine? Also, Damian Lillard has finally ripped the Band-Aid off. He is requesting a trade from the Portland Trail Blazers. Chris Haynes on that, and Adrian Wojnarowski saying the Heat, Clippers, and 76ers, the three teams that will have interest in exploring trades for Damian Lillard. We're going to unpack all of this on today's show. Hang out with us. But first, if you haven't subscribed yet to the channel, make sure you do so right now. We're 328 people away from 11,000 subscribers. If you're looking for year-round Sixers content, especially some talk and chatter about this team throughout NBA free agency, this is your go-to spot. This is what we do here, year-round Sixers coverage, 76ers free agency updates, Sixers draft content, live shows, and watch parties. We've gone live the last 2 days, and if something crazy happens today, we're going to run it back. Let's start the show. All right, happy Saturday. Welcome in. Hope all of you out there are having a fantastic weekend, whether you're in Philadelphia, somewhere else around the globe. Maybe you're kicking it on the Jersey Shore as well. The good thing about 76ers now, you can watch us from anywhere. So the big chatter here this morning, day 2 of NBA free agency, is that Damian Lillard has finally requested a trade. Him kind of going back and forth, riding that seesaw, depending on if he wants to stay with Portland or get traded. It was getting kind of corny at the end of the day, and now things have officially heated up on day 2 of NBA free agency. He's requested a trade, according to Chris Haynes, who really has inside sources with the Lillard camp because he used to work for NBC Sports Pacific Northwest as a Trailblazers reporter. So he's really gone step for step alongside Dame with all of the reporting over the last couple of years. So he reports that Dame has requested a trade. Adrian Wojnarowski saying that the Heat, Clippers, and 76ers, the three teams that will have interest in exploring trades for Lillard, the Blazers are expected to value deals that would bring them back young players and draft assets. Now, Shams Charania is inside the pocket of Pat Riley, Eric Spoelstra, and the Miami Heat. He has said specifically that Damian Lillard wants to get dealt to the Miami Heat. Jake Fisher has also written a book about the 76ers, about that process era. He just tweeted out that he has heard pretty consistently that the 76ers have no interest in putting Tyrese Maxey in any trade conversations, including a potential pursuit for Damian Lillard. Philadelphia and other teams are of the belief that the Miami Heat are Lillard's preferred destination. Regardless of what happens, we have you up to date and in the know here on 76ers Now. Now let's get to this. This is very, very fascinating for a couple of reasons here. Are the Sixers working on a Tobias Harris for Zach Lavine trade? There are rumors out there that could be in the works. Now, this tweet and report comes from Vin the Insider. He doesn't work with any major network, any major publication, but he did tweet this out on Friday night. Per source, it appears that Tobias Harris will be on his way to Chicago soon in exchange for Zach Lavine. Details are being worked out. Now, before you shut down Vin the Insider, he has a track record of breaking some major stories in the city of brotherly love when it crosses the Philadelphia sports spectrum. He broke the Carson Wentz trade. He was first on the Bryce Harper signing. He was first on the James Harden trade that sent the fraud Ben Simmons to Brooklyn, and he had intel on the Nick Castellanos signing. Could he be right with this Tobias Harris trade? I would be all in. Look, if you can swap Tobias Harris for Zach Lavine, you do it 7 days a week and again on Sunday because Zach Lavine is the better player, he's the younger player, and he immediately bulks up your offensive arsenal. So with that, today's poll question is this. We want to hear from you down in the comment section here. Pick a player. Who would you rather have on Philadelphia's roster? ZL for Lavine, TH for Tobias Harris. Last 4 years for Zach Lavine. Not a great defensive player. I think he's only played in 4 playoff games over the last several years. That's a little bit of a concern. But in the NBA play-in tournament against the Miami Heat, he went bonkers. And he played awesome in that game. He was able to get buckets from really anywhere. And last year, nearly 25 points per game, 48.5% from the field. Year before that, 24 points per game. 2020, 2021, probably the best season of his NBA career when he was able to tally 27 points per game on nearly 51% shooting with a lot of volume. And the season before that, very solid player as well. And Zach Lavine is a straight-up bucket getter who I think would fit better alongside Tyrese Maxey and Joel Embiid than Tobias Harris. And then if you trade James Harden away, which seems inevitable at this point, you can get back some role players like a Norman Powell. And if that is really your core for the Sixers, I think Nick Nurse can be pretty happy about that. Lavine's advanced shooting numbers off catch-and-shoot three-pointers, 41.5% on pull-up threes. Not great, surprisingly, at 34%. Very good at finishing inside 10 feet, almost 63%, and his overall ranking there, 9th. By trading away Toby and bringing in Zach Lavine, you certainly lose some defense with Harris going to the Windy City in Chicago, but you gain offense with Lavine. Embiid still one of the best defenders in the sport. PJ Tucker, very good defender. Tyrese Maxey, solid defender. You have DeAnthony Melton, too, who can give you a lot of very good defensive minutes as well. So that's why I'm kind of in and all in on this trade, to be frank. And you look at the Zach Lavine contract here, he is a little bit more expensive than Tobias Harris, but not as expensive as a Damian Lillard or some of the other players out there who we've talked about here on the program this upcoming season. Base salary of $37 million, year after that, $40. And I think what is important here, you have him under contract for a couple of years here as it escalates, but Tobias Harris is on an expiring deal. He's a little bit cheaper, so maybe for Chicago, that's somewhat appealing. And maybe not having a player who's as ball dominant as Zach Lavine and having Tobias Harris is a better fit with DeMar DeRozan. They signed Kobe White to a $40 million contract. Javon Carter headed to Chicago as well. They're going to bring it back with Nikola Vucevic too. Maybe Chicago's thinking is that Harris is the better fit there. I hope so, because I think Zach Lavine by far and away the better player here. So if you want the Sixers to trade Harris for Zach Lavine, make sure you smash that thumbs up icon, like the video. If you're with me, that's cool. If not, let me know down in the comment section. We always appreciate your feedback, and you can rip me if you want. As for the latest on James Harden entering day 2 of free agency, Brian Windhorst saying that the Knicks could trade for James Harden if the price is right. Here's the quote from Windy here. I don't think you can rule the Knicks out. I know it doesn't look and make as much sense. New York might say this might be a way we can inject some talent without it being all too expensive. By the way, Rudy Gobert, Donovan Mitchell trades, those are over for right now. As I talk to league executives, they are starting to use the phrase, the price of acquisition. And if the price is right, I think the Knicks would consider it. I'll just leave it at that. We'll see you, James Harden. Get your ass out of Philadelphia. It was an okay year and a half, but his antics, I grow tired of it. You're getting ready for the playoffs. You go out to Las Vegas. You'll blame anybody else and point the finger at anybody else other than yourself. You wanted Doc Rivers fired. You got that. And then you request a trade from Philadelphia. You always pout your way out of destinations when you don't have it your way. And from the New York Knicks perspective, I mean, the Philadelphia 76ers have been their daddy for a really long time. I'm not sure why James Harden and Jalen Brunson is a backcourt that you would want to move forward with. I know my boy Marshall Green does an excellent job as the host of New York Knicks Now. He has said, do not bring in James Harden. Jalen Brunson is a top 5 point guard. I'm in agreement. Brunson was a top 5 point guard last year. The ones who know ball actually know. And you're taking the ball out of Brunson's hands, and you're basically having him in that role that he had and occupied when he was playing alongside Luka Doncic. So we'll see. Knicks have a lot of good trade assets that could appease Philadelphia. And once again, we'll talk about it as soon as that move happens right here on 76ers Now. Feel free to interact with me, Twitter, Instagram, at Chase_Senior, as the great Colin Cowherd would once say, and make sure you hit that sub button. If anything crazy happens today, we'll be going live here on the channel. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, Sixers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Subscribe.